20 times, I'ma speed it in 20 ways. 40 days, 40 nights, no more brain. Yeah, I may have come through, but I never stayed. I'm talking about it, ain't no waste of space. Fight for yourself, who will pressure, man. Put it on for the O, cause we never played. Where I'm from, we all know where our granny stand.
We are going to do a live role play. So Vincent has struggled with a few things. So one is holding a stronger frame, being in control of the conversations. He's also struggled with getting deeper within discovery. And the last piece, of course, is not letting people off the hook. I think if you have a weak frame, typically you're gonna let people off the hook when objections, because they're in control. They're in control of the conversation. So what we're gonna do is simulate with you, Mr. Mendoza, on this call, a tougher prospect, and see how Vincent handles it with little to no preparation. But what we'll do this time, instead of letting him do a full role play and reviewing it after, we'll do immediate feedback loops, so he can know what's going on and issues immediately and mitigate that bad practice going forward. Kind of like get a smack on the wrist, program his own brain to realize, hey, what I did there was wrong. Don't do that again. Here's the alternative. Understand it, know it, move forward.
How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Been looking forward to this. How you doing, man?
Yes. Good. Where are you calling out from?
From Florida.
Florida, okay.
Yeah, what about you?
It's pretty hot in Florida, or?
Yeah. Florida's Florida. Florida man, all that stuff. Where are you from, though?
Been Belgium based. I don't know if you know where Belgium is, but it's...
That's somewhere in Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, perfect, man. Is it okay, since we only have like a limited amount of time, that we just jump straight into it?
Absolutely.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
So usually how these calls go is to see where you are with e-commerce now. We'll ask each other some questions. Then we'll see if we're able to help you out. And then if I feel like we're able to help you out, then we can get you potentially onboarded today. If that's a good plan to you.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Perfect, man. Also, just a favor, I do a lot of these calls, and they end up being like three situations, right? The first one is, I want to do this. It feels like good to me. It's also something that I want to do. The second situation is like, I hate this guy. I don't like his face. I don't want to talk with him anymore. That's
what do you mean?
Fine, by the way. Excuse me?
What do you mean? What are you talking?
It's just, I want to make sure that we're both making the best out of this situation in our time. So if we can end this call with a yes or a no by moving forward or not, and not a maybe, then that's fine by me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you should have said that. Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So, Matthew, tell me a bit, like, where are you now when it comes to e-commerce?
Yeah, no, I just dabbled with it here and there and stuff like that. It wasn't anything too crazy. So, just trying to see what you guys are about. I mean, I kind of know a little bit about wrestling, but it's part of the reason why I'm here. Just trying to see what the offer is, what exactly it entails. Like, can I ask, like, what is it that you do specifically with the whole process with the whole team? Like, are you doing e-commerce yourself?
Yeah, so we just help people, either if they're a beginner already doing e-commerce.
Stop there. Number one, the opening. I think the opening, Vincent, was very soft. It's very soft.
Okay.
Because two things that he did was, when you said, "Oh, where are you calling from?" Then he was like, "Where are you from?" And then he's like, "Where are you from?" And then you're like, "Oh, Belgium," right? That's the first time that, like, he's forced the question for you to respond, and it's subtle, but then he feels like he has a little bit of control. And then when you were given the yes, no, maybe frame, he was like, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?" Like, it wasn't super clear. Like, the best thing you can do in this case, because with the intro and rapport, like, if they don't ask where you're from or what you're doing or like all that stuff, like, you don't have to jump into that. You can literally just be like, "Okay, cool, great to meet you, bro." And you can jump into being tactical right from the beginning. Like, you're not going to win the rapport right in the beginning. And especially because, like, right now, I think this is where you're losing most of your frame, is that beginning opening. Like, I think you're too friendly in the beginning, too soft, to where, like, somebody like him can gain that control, right? Or the avatar that he's playing. Now, also, when, like, the yes, no, maybe frame, we've played around with it, using it in the beginning and using it towards, like, the end. I think, personally, it wasn't the strongest delivery, especially because Matthew came in and insinuated that it was confusing, and it was just too slow, right? So if you're going to do it, I would shorten it and be a little more direct, right? The whole like, you know, you hate my glasses, like it's kind of silly and makes it soft and not as abrasive. But I would think even now, like, just take it out. For like, let's improve the frame, take it out for now. You can even ask it later on if you feel like you need to, but it's not gonna make or break you. But then also right here where he asked you the question and you went to respond immediately, bad practice. Just show me what you would try and do, and then I'll tell you if it was right or wrong. Like, just don't answer it, try to deflect it, and show me what you're gonna do. Like, just run your process and then I'll critique it.
I myself know, but like when it comes to e-commerce, you said that you're doing it already. How does that look like? What have you set up?
Why don't you do it though? Like I'd assume, especially if he has a team, like that's kind of what I thought part of this call was for.
I mean, I don't have time for it. Does that matter if I do it or not?
I mean, yeah, I assume if we're hopping on a call.
All right, stop there, Vincent. I'm sure now it feels abrasive, right? So now
I know, but like,
this is where it gets confusing. I understand. So Vincent, right, is always use that perspective of like making them feel dumb for asking that question. He'd be like, then depending on his response, if it was like a little bit like more subtle and was like, well, yeah, I just want to understand like your role and what you're doing here, and then you'd be like, help me understand why that's important for you to understand, right? And then you would dive deeper, because then you're still not answering his question. It's what you're trying to get clarity for why he's asking this. He's like, well, you know, I want to be able to make sure that like I'm talking to somebody who knows what they're doing, and and then like, well, what makes you think I would be on this call if I didn't know what I was doing here? And then he'd be like, oh, well, I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing. It's I spoke to someone on Iman's team, and the guy was just like a random fucking delivery worker who just went to Iman. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can start to disarm, because if you start answering, no matter what, especially the way he's asking the question, you're letting that happen and you're letting him win that control. But the thing is, he is coming across abrasive. It is stern. But you can also call that out. Like, hey man, I'll answer the question, but I'm sensing some resistance. Why do you, like I don't understand why you're asking. Like, you're asking the question with a lot of oomph, right? Whatever. Or like, I'm sensing some resistance, right? Like, it's like, am I missing something? Like, have you had a bad experience in the past? Like, why do you feel the need to ask the question the way you're asking? I mean, this is like even like a sloppy way of how I do it, but just asking directly. Just like calling out the third wall, because nobody's gonna call out his actions, but you need to. But there's a reason why he's acting that way. Whether it's because his ego and you need to humble him, or because he's scared and he has this resistance and doesn't want to like tell you everything, right? And he's trying to make sure he's safe. It's the only reason why they're doing it. The only reason. So run it back again from when he asks, what do you do? And then we'll take it from there. Matt's been in sales before. I told him like, it's not gonna be like the kind of dickhead prospect where like, they're gonna continue to just beat you down. Like, it's gonna be realistic. So if you disarm him, like, he will adhere to it.
Gonna take these guys to a low-key little Mexican spot. Has some banging burritos.
Here you go.
I'm gonna take them shooting.
Burritos first or shooting?
I don't know if I could focus on a full stomach. You know, when you...
Oh man, this is a hole in the wall.
Bro, look at that shit. You gonna put all that shit in your mouth?
Oh my god. I mean, come on. Come on.
That was perfectly timed.
You fucking that shit.
Chipotle. Dude, we had like a side of like French fries or something. Oh my god.
That's the American in me talking, bro. It's not enough.
Hey, what's this place called again?
Antojos.
Stand right next to it. Stand right next
That's
to it.
not a name. It means cravings in Spanish.
We're here at Endosos with Izzy. Is that good?
Good enough. Antojos.
9.6 out of 10 burrito.
Wow, that's not what you said earlier.
9.6?
You were acting like we were a 10.
Yeah, this... Oh. Cut the commercial. A 10 means there's nothing better.
There could be something better.
I'm telling you right now, I've been to like, what, Chipotle. I've had good burritos in Australia. Shit's all over that as well.
No, it was amazing.
It was really good.
You just see it and you're like, wow.
Yeah. I saw some ladies walking out and I thought there's no way they could finish a matcha burrito.
Yeah, not at all.
It's usually the tall, skinny guys like you.
Great work. Thank the kitchen as well, guys. That was beautiful.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Do they know they're American?
We love women. I can't say that, bro.
You have to.
That's rude. They got a news
Dude, that's
reporter
gotta
out
be a
here,
joke
bro.
on its own, man.
Girl, I can't decide if I should stay and say I tried.
That's my dream. Like being an influence, like at like the scale of it, it's like, dude, Neville Goddard's been dead since like the 70s or something like that. Or maybe actually no, I could be wrong. But like regardless, he's been dead for a while. And like the fact that now it's still studied and like valued as heavily as it is, and like you can see there's some guys that you can find like on YouTube or whatever, like they're like, oh, I went to one of his showings and he explained this. Like I feel like he's like a higher level Tony Robbins. I feel like Tony Robbins like grabbed some stuff from him,
Yeah.
but it's like a very, very high level Tony Robbins. That's what I want to be able to do, is create my own curriculum around, like, because eventually I know I would go from sales to like how we communicate as humans and how we
it's a communication.
yeah, exact influence and how we create our lives and that structure. Like I know eventually that's what I will train like a change to. Like it just happened to be that sales was the vehicle initially for me to make money and do that and build that. And like sales.io will be like $8 billion company that we have, but like the lessons and teachings from that $1 billion company, the core values and like the foundation of it will be communication, influence, and how we, you know, actually decide to do things and how we actually perceive life and live life. Because I've always, and it sounds a little arrogant, but I've always felt different, and I've always noticed that I was different. I remember like when I was a kid, I used to get bullied for being too nice or being too happy. Like I was like, it just always made sense to me.
We ain't fucking around.
Not my first time. I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin.
I'm a virgin.
To take it out, there's a button right here. So one in the chamber. There it goes. Now, never point at anybody.
For you, Mom.
Two, one.
Man, I ran up a hill just for 30 days. 20 times I'ma speed it in 20 ways. 40 days for the nights, know my daddy prayed. Yeah, I may have came through, but I never stayed.
Hey, Rio right here. Rio de Janeiro.